The Boston area has a number of organizations performing new music, but for the Ecce Ensemble, the mission is music that explores cultural and social questions. To tell us how that figures in recent and future performances, along with the new recording, is the ensemble's managing director, Sarah Borgatti. Thank you very much for being with us, Sarah.
Thanks for having me.
Sarah, this is an orchestra that has what you might call, I should say, an ensemble that has a sort of an interdisciplinary mission. So what does that mean exactly?
Well, we kind of formed as a contemporary classical music chamber ensemble, but over the almost decade that we've been around, we've really kind of focused on bringing music to spaces that are outside of just the concert hall. So at galleries, at other kind of sites that maybe you wouldn't be so used to going to a concert. And as part of that, we've really sort of wanted to bring in different disciplines to work together, especially video, movement, kind of choreography, and sort of things to really highlight new work and look at it through a different lens.
When I look at some of the clips from performances, one thing that certainly strikes me is this is not like being in Jordan Hall or Symphony Hall. You're really at close range. I guess, does that make it in some way easier to engage people in something new?
I think it allows for a more nuanced kind of taking it in as an audience member. You know, you can look at sort of how the musicians are interacting. If it's a piece that has a singer, you can pay attention to how they are portraying the words, or if there's movement, there's something like that. So I think it definitely allows to sort of have the audience connect in different ways with the work.
Well, one of the things you've been working on for a while, and you're recording, actually the recording's about to come out pretty soon, is a work called Angelus Novus by John Aylward. Tell us a little bit about that.
So it is a monodrama for soprano and chamber ensemble. It was developed and workshopped during a 3-year residency we had at Laboratoire in Cambridge. So they provided space for us to put it on and kind of explore. And then last spring it was recorded at the American Academy of Arts and Letters in New York, and it's going to come out on CD April 24th. And then we're also going to be doing some multimedia work with it on the Greenway this fall.
So one of the things that I find very intriguing about this work is that this is not a work that sets just sort of poetic texts. I mean, there is some poetry, including by Adrian Rich, but there's some other things in here. There are philosophers, and I'm saying, how can you make that musical? And yet it does sound musical.
I think it's just a matter of taking from the text what is important and you're looking to convey. So this, when John composed this, it looks at different ways of storytelling through cultural histories and kind of building on experiences. So I think using the different texts allows different ways to incorporate that and look at it together.
Well, there is a cultural story here, loosely put maybe, how people process the past, especially the parts that are painful. But there's a personal angle too with John Aylward and his family, isn't there?
Yes, so his mom grew up in Germany, and they were displaced during World War II, and her family was eventually brought here through an aid organization. So it draws on that a little, that personal experience. And
there's a little bit of an overlap with one of the upcoming programs. There is a composer named Hosokawa from Japan, and he wrote a work that was in honor of a French composer who was in a prison camp during World War II, plus a sort of a tribute to a Korean composer who was also sort of a political prisoner. So why the focus on that kind of history?
Well, one thing that Ecce wants to do is we want to put out work that's meaningful and connects with things that are going on right now. So some of our programming seeks to draw that in. And then we also do a lot of work with composers. So Toshio came to our Etching Summer Festival. We've done his work before, so it really kind of, he writes things that go along with what we want to do, but also we're drawing on a personal relationship and growing that.
What about these relations? Because you have music that is about all these cultural connections. The Korean composer Lee Sang-yoon, also drawing from Germany as well as Asia. What does that do? Does that attract the musicians to want to get involved in an ensemble like this?
I think it does. We have an international cohort of musicians and multimedia artists. There are some based in Boston, some in New York. Our main soprano is based in Berlin. We've done a summer festival in France for the past 10 years. So there's really that kind of international angle, and really what us as a Boston-based organization can bring to contemporary classical music in general.
Now, one of the things I imagine a lot of people are going to do is, as soon as they hear contemporary classical music, they're going to say, you know, if you don't go to a conservatory, you're not going to like it. But I mean, what about your audience? I mean, they can't all be just conservatory grads, can they?
No, we have a wide variety of people that attend, and I think part of that is, you know, we have these concerts that are more close-up, more intimate settings, different places, so it really kind of takes those maybe preconceived notions of a concert in a concert hall and breaks those down and allows for other things. In our work, we often collaborate with living composers, so we will have them come to events or speak at things. So really drawing on that kind of personal angle and why the person composed it in the first place, I think also helps audiences to connect with the work and find something for them there.
We should mention, if people would like some more details, either about the new recording of Angelus Novus or about the upcoming concerts, you've got a website with some details for that?
Yes, they can visit eccearts.com. It's ECCEARTS.com for more information.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Sarah Borgatti from Ecce Ensemble. We'll have more news in just a moment.